The consensus with most basketball purists is that Michael Jordan is the GOAT, but not according to Joel Embiid. He said last week that Wilt Chamberlain is, in fact, the greatest. Embiid added, quote, he's got all the records and no one is ever going to beat them. I don't see anyone ever getting 100 points in a game. Well, that didn't sit well with MJ's former teammate, Dennis Rodman, who responded to TMZ. Take a listen.
Joel Embiid said Michael Jordan is not the GOAT, okay? Yeah. He says it's Wilt Chamberlain. What's your thoughts on that? Is he tripping? Has he got a point?
Joel Embiid, you're doing a great job for your little island or country where you're from, man. Shut the up. Go do your job and do Philly proud. That's the one thing they need is a championship.
He's dead wrong on this one?
Right, he's wrong. All right, man.
You think he could ever be one of the greats?
I doubt that.
Okay, Shannon, whose side are you on here, Rodman's or Embiid's?
Joel Embiid.
What?
Joel Embiid.
No. Have you lost your mind?
No, Skip. I mean, everybody sees.
Do you need another vacation?
No, think about this. When we talk about offensive numbers, we always talk about, well, we got to set Wilt to the side.
Okay, yeah.
We can't ever say, because think about this. James Harden just went on this miraculous streak, 32 games of 30 points or more. He need to go the rest of this season and 10 games in the next season just to equal Wilt. Skip, stop playing. You need to. Wilt is so dominant that what he did is that we like, well, it wasn't fair because the competition.
It was different times.
Wilt averaged for a career 30 points and 23 rebounds. Let that sink in for a second. I want people to hear me again. I'm going to say it again slowly this time. Wilt averaged for a career 30 points and 23 rebounds over a 14-year career. His first 11 seasons, he averaged at least 20 rebounds. And Skip, the last 3 seasons that he played in, he averaged 18.2 rebounds, 19.2 rebounds, and 18.6.
How many finals he playing? Just asking. I'm just asking.
He got 2 titles.
Oh, out of how many?
Oh, I'm glad you
6. He played.
Oh, I'm glad you
mentioned.
mentioned.
2 and 4 in finals.
Here's the thing.
Huh. Interesting.
People don't even know this. Wilt lost 4. This many, Jenny. 4. Game 7s to Bill Russell.
He did.
By a grand total of 9 points. Bill Russell was playing with average 7 Hall of Famers. One year he had 11 on a 12-man roster. Is that pretty good?
And Bill Russell took him to school every time. I watched him. Bill Russell beat him 7 of 8 playoff series, beat Wilt Chamberlain. And Bill Russell stood all of 6 feet 9 inches tall, which is LeBron's height. Wilt 7 feet 1.
How about
Big Dipper.
I want to know is this domination. For his career against Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain averaged 26 points and 28 rebounds. And once had a 62-38 and once had a 50-35 ball game. But that's domination. What NBA player says, I want a guy to dominate me like that, getting 26 points and 28 rebounds? Skip. And plus, also, Joel Embiid is a what? A big guy. What's Wilt? A big guy. Skip, if you don't mind me asking, where did Wilt Chamberlain play his college ball at?
Kansas.
Where did Joel Embiid play his college ball at? So
I'm not even sure Joel Embiid knows. I don't know. I'm not sure.
And first of all, I don't like Dennis Rodman being disrespected. Talking about whatever island. Don't do that, Dennis.
That was bad. I agree.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Have respect.
But he was offended by the question, by the whole notion of this.
This is that man's opinion. Just like, okay, you say Joel Embiid's opinion doesn't make it right. Just like Dennis Rodman's opinion doesn't make him fact. It doesn't make it right. That's your opinion. He's entitled to it. He's like, look at the numbers.
So are you saying Wilt is more valuable than Jordan?
That wasn't a question.
Oh.
That wasn't a question.
I think that's where we're heading.
No, you tried to take it there.
Dennis Rodman played with Michael Jordan. Okay, so he's defending Michael Jordan. Because he should defend him because he's right.
No, he ain't right.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not. I'm done.
Well, then you just said Michael Jordan is inferior to Wilt Chamberlain. That's what that's your takeaway.
First of all, as we say, ain't either one of them the GOAT. You already know who old GOAT is.
Stop.
Ain't either one of them.
The GOAT was on display last night in Memphis, and that's lowercase G-O-A-T.
Don't do that.
Just the GOAT of the game.
Whatever.
Right? Is it my turn?
It's your turn.
Your turn.
Let this sink in, Shannon Sharp. Speaking of competition, Wilt's first MVP season in 1960. Guess what? 15 of the 20 All-Stars that year were American-born and bred white guys.
Yeah.
Think about that. 15 of 20 were white guys from the United States of America.
In the NBA.
Okay? Think about that. That's the first year of his MVP run, okay? And he went on a tear right from there on. By the way, just for the record, the last 2 years there have been 0 American white guys make the All-Star team. This is current, right? And this year we had 2 of the Euros. We had Jokic and Vucevic, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we had 2 Euros.
Okay, the American-born players aren't very good, okay?
Right, okay, so just for the record, 15 of 20 in Wilt's first MVP year.
Yeah.
That's something. And then how about in Jordan's first MVP year? How many white Americans made the All-Star team? Larry Bird did. Kevin McHale did. Believe it or not, Danny Ainge was the 3rd and last one, and that was the only All-Star team that Danny Ainge ever made. And I'm not sure how he made that one because he averaged that year 16 points and 6 assists.
God, they won. They were
I don't know. So I'm not sure he deserved to, but there were 2 guys who definitely deserved to, Bird and McHale.
Right.
But that was it. Right. Period. End of story. 15 of 20 in 1960. There's some evolution going on there, right?
Skip, that's you being unfair.
No,
because the league was barely integrated then.
Okay.
So you make it seem like there was an
what's the level of competition? What's the level of competition Wilt faced starting in 1960?
What you mean?
Well, it's
the NBA players.
It's far less. But it's just far less. And so he would just dominate.
Well, okay.
He's just finger rolling at the rim. He scored 100 points in Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Showed in. And that streak, he had 78, had a 73 ball game, had like 560. But that's hold on, Skip. What's the level of competition? Are the athletes today not superior to the one that Michael Jordan played against?
Maybe a little.
Oh, a little. So what's the level of competition?
Yeah. Would Michael Jordan dominate today?
I don't know. We don't know that.
He would terrorize today's NBA. Terrorize.
Let me ask you a question. Now, give me the Michael Jordan rule. Give me the rule that they implemented just for Michael Jordan. Because I'll give you the one for Wilt. The 3-second. They expanded the lane. That was for Wilt. Well, and what you couldn't do, Skip Bayless.
Sam Smith wrote a whole book called The Jordan Rules, plural. Plural rules. Hey, there are all kinds of rules. This is how we got to control it.
That's Sam Smith wrote a book.
Yeah.
The NBA changed the rules. They ain't right. They changed the entire rules, Skip. They say we got to widen the lane because this guy going to go for 150. We got to do something with this 3-second clock. We got to have something because Wilt just going to camp out here and we can't do nothing. And what about Skip? Remember he used to finger roll the ball from the free throw line? They changed that. Now the ball got to hit the rim before you leave the free throw line. You remember that, Skip Bayless?
I do.
Okay.
Here's a quick aside for you. I've had the honor of working alongside a number of legends in the sports writing business in my time. And if I can hark back to my early days at the Los Angeles Times, I had the honor of working beside a man you will never have heard of, but a lot of people around the NBA know him because he was a legend, named George Casita. Bob Ryan called him the greatest NBA writer ever. George Casita. Look his name up. Look up his obituary if you want to read about what he did. He covered Wilt in Philadelphia for 2 newspapers there, and I had the pleasure of hearing lots of Wilt stories from George Casita, the ultimate authority. He told me a lot of funny stories about how Wilt was all about stats and not about the final score of the game. That as soon as every game ended, he's looking along press row, give me the stat sheet, give me the stat sheet.
The guys do that on the sideline now.
Wilt lived for stats. He did not live for dubs, as you call them, or W's, because that's not what he was in the business of doing. He was in the business of dominating the stat sheet, not the scoreboard. And Bill Russell beat him 7 of 8 times in playoff matchups because Bill Russell knew how to play. Bill Russell had winners' intangibles. He had savvy as well as skill.
What if I flipped him? Instead of Bill Russell having Sam and Casey Jones and Tommy Heisen and Bill and Sharman,
you know what?
And all those guys,
I'll take Bill Russell's team. I'll take Bill Russell's team.
Because you do know that Tommy Heisen beat Bill Russell for NBA Rookie of the Year. A teammate. Can you imagine that?
Tommy Hines.
Yes, my point exactly.
I take him as a broadcaster.
My point exactly. But who was Rookie of the Year, Skip Bayless?
Oh, please.
Don't do this.
Don't do me like that. I'll take Bill Russell every day, like every night over Wilt Chamberlain.
I can't.
He's a stat machine, sort of like this guy who plays now.
No.
Quote unquote best player on the planet.
All I'm saying, if you give Wilt Chamberlain Sam Jones, Casey Jones, Tommy Heinsohn, Sharman. Because one year, Skip, they had 7 Hall of Famers. I don't think Bill Russell ever played with anything less than 6 Hall of Famers.
Yep.
In one year, he had 11. 11? You only got 12 men on the roster, Jenny. And you got
any Jordans out there? You see any Jordans alongside him? See anybody who resembled Michael Jordan? Help me out.
They're in the Hall of Fame.
Oh.
They're in the Hall of Fame.
I'm just asking. And if I replaced Michael Jordan with Wilt Chamberlain on those Bulls teams, it would be a disaster. Trust me. They would be a mediocre team. They would. Yeah.
But by the time he got there, Wilt Chamberlain was 70 years old.
Not that. I mean, in his prime. Prime for primes. Trust me.
Prime for prime.
Michael Jordan.
Well, how many?
Do I need to remind you one more time? 6-0 in the finals with 6 MVPs.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, Skip.
Yeah.
If they don't change the rules, what would Wilt have averaged?
I don't care.
I mean, they change.
What's the level of competition?
I'm just saying,
what would Wilt average in today's NBA?
That's hypothetical.
Well, it's not hypothetical.
What would Tom Brady have won 6 Super Bowls in the 70s and 80s?
Yep.
When they could knock Stop it.
Yep.
You bring up Tom Brady into this? Okay, we're going to move on to
talking
the
about
Cowboys.
Winners, intangibles. No, that's not.
Yeah, well, we're not talking. Why are we talking about the Cowboys?
I agree. I said doesn't go.
I left the door way too open for that.
Yep.
Should Skip's Cowboys break the bank for DeMarcus Lawrence? We'll discuss what he thinks next.